Good afternoon. I am David Andersen, the bridge pastor at Sylvania United Church of Christ, and this is our edition of Keeping in Touch, an attempt to, during this time of separation, to keep our congregation and visitors informed about activities and events that are going on at the church, many of them virtually, but still a part of our congregation. I want to begin today by giving you a schedule of worship events that are coming up. The first being that this Sunday, Reverend Joyce-Sylvania will be our guest speaker. She is a member of our congregation. And then on August 23rd, I will have my last Sunday as bridge pastor. And then August 30th, the Reverend Dan Bush, who is the executive minister for our area United Church of Christ churches, will be present and will bring the sermon. Then all of this is to lead up to say that on September 5th, 6th, our new pastor, Reverend Vern Sweat, will be with us. He and his wife are getting ready to move over here from Connecticut, but his first Sunday in the pulpit will be September 6th. So we have lots to look forward to in that regard. Now, another very important event that is taking place this weekend and Sunday and Saturday is the blessing of our backpacks. And to talk about that will be Kristen Leverton, who is serving as our children's worker in addition to all the other things that she's been doing. So, Kristen?
Hi, everybody. So on Saturday, Janet Hildebrandt and Pastor Mary will be at the church, the front drive along Erie Street from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. to hand you your backpack tags, a sticker that you can put on a water bottle or laptop, and then little dots. And we'll explain what those dots are for on Sunday during the worship service at 10 a.m. So please join us on Saturday, staff, faculty, college age, high school age, elementary age, anyone who is heading back to school this fall, whether virtually or in person, please join us on Saturday at 10.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. Now to bring us up to date on other events occurring and deadlines that are approaching, Joyce, you want to bring us up to date on other events?
Yeah, thank you, David. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to remind everyone that the deadline for the next newsletter will be Monday the 17th. So if you have anything that you want to add to the newsletter, any kind of photos, just send them to me, email them. Also, Pub Theology is next Tuesday on Zoom at 6 p.m. I will be sending out a reminder for that. And that's all I have, but everybody stay safe.
Okay, thank you. And then Mary Meadows will tell us about some deadlines that she is working on. Mary?
Well, I don't know if they're exactly deadlines. Confirmation is still happening, and we actually hope to have plan to have a confirmation service in some form this fall for at least a couple of our confirmands who are ready. And then, but more closely coming up is the Tuesday service. It's a week from Thursday. There's always an email that goes out, but you can find it on the YouTube channel on the third Thursday of the month.
Thank you, Mary. Now, because we have a little extra time today, I'm going to have an interview with Kristen Leverton, who, in addition to her staff positions at the church, is also a seminary student. And I've asked her today if she would talk a bit about her seminary experience. And I'd like her to begin by telling us how her journey ultimately led to that decision that seminary was going to be a part of her life. Kristen?
Okay, thanks, David. Yes, I am a seminary student at Chicago Theological Seminary, which is a UCC seminary, but I am only online. So I take courses just like so many of our students are going to be doing this fall, virtually connect with Zoom and Canvas. So what led me to finally saying yes to seminary was feeling a call, probably high school, maybe earlier, but naming it in high school, a call to I'll say set apart ministry. I really believe that everybody is in ministry, but set apart in that you're a pastor or you're, theologically trained. So it was something I felt for a really long time, but quite honestly did not feel capable. So it was just some life experiences that I needed to go through before I finally had to say, okay, I need to do this. I'm called to do this. I'm going to do this. So it was just a long, twisty road to find the UCC and then to find the seminary that was right for me.
Okay, then Kristen, I wonder that then you entered seminary and you started taking courses, but your journey continues. And what influence perhaps has seminary had on your continuing journey or sense of call? Yeah,
that's a really good question. I'm still discerning where I'm headed, and seminary, I think in a lot of ways has helped me to understand that it is a process, that it isn't about arriving, that it's okay that I don't know where I'm headed. But I'm really excited this fall to be taking my first chaplaincy course. It'll be talking about moral injury, veterans in particular who suffer from PTSD and then re-enter civilian life, and what that does to their personal sense of morality in terms of what they've seen while they were serving. So I guess it's been very affirming. I've met so many people who are in very similar life circumstances as I am, raising young children, working other jobs. So that has been affirming to see that I'm in the right place. And then just to know that it's okay that I don't know where I'm headed exactly, but.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious, you said that you're taking all your classes online. Is that true for all the students, or are there some students on campus, or what is that like today?
So CTS was they're very proud of this, a groundbreaker in online theological education. So my courses that I take, all of the students are online. And we are literally all over the world. When I went to Israel, Palestine in late January, I met a CTS student who is an Episcopal priest in Palestine who was a CTS student. So we are literally all over the world. But there are in-person courses, and CTS has a beautiful facility located along the southern border of University of Chicago. So I was privileged to get to attend an in-person class for a J term there, which is just a week-long course that's concentrated a whole semester long into 1 week. So it's a wonderful campus and very warm people. So that's where primarily all of the professors are, although some of the adjunct faculty are, again, all over the world. So some courses are just online, some are just in person, and then some are flex, where you have the ability to meet in person as a part of your online experience. And that was one course that was offered last fall. I decided not to travel to those in-person experiences because of family commitments, but CTS is very flexible, and they know that the typical CTS student has a job, likely has family commitments, owns a home. So this is not, what seminary might have been 20 or 30 years ago. So it's exciting to be a part of a community where your challenges are known, and they work to accommodate those.
Mm-hmm. Now that you've been in seminary for a little while, what would you say has most surprised you about your seminary experience?
Well, I spoke on the self-esteem issues that led me to kind of to drag my feet leading up to seminary. I think in some ways I've been surprised that I could handle it. I've always really been intimidated by, this fancy theological language and, just not feeling enough. So just realizing that I can do this and that I don't have to be able to write, a 30-minute sermon on my first day of seminary, that they're going to actually teach me these things, that I don't have to already know it. So that has been encouraging. But I will say, like, attending a Christian seminary, one of the surprising things is how much I have learned and enjoyed getting to understand the Jewish faith. My professor last fall, and then my professor who took me on my tour of Israel-Palestine, is Jewish, served as a rabbi in a Reform congregation for many years. And just learning how Christianity has become like the secessionist faith, and how that really isn't reflective of Judaism at all, how much has happened in the last 2,000 years in Judaism. So that has been surprising. Really, I didn't anticipate learning so much about the Jewish faith going to a Christian school.
So that then has influenced how you look at the church. Has it also influenced your formation of faith, how you understand faith?
It is. I've always, I can't say I've always, but in recent adult years have been a multi-faith person, affirming of all faiths. I think of it as like one mountain, many paths to God. But I think this experience in seminary has really deepened my understanding of what those other faiths are and how they practice, and that enriches my own faith, and not not in just thinking of these things as fairy tales per se, but real life stories that were told by ancient people in ancient lands.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yes. When I asked you the question, what surprised you the most, the thing that came to my mind about my seminary experience was I was taking an exam in one of my classes. I think this was when I was a freshman. And I looked over and I saw this other student copying from another student. And it just struck me so deeply, because I thought, here this person is training to be a seminary, but he's cheating on his exams, and I couldn't put the two together. But
Sure.
I guess it is that we all remain human.
There's no magic that arrives on your shoulder when you attend seminary. And David, I have had similar experiences, not cheating, but given how expensive a seminary education is, I have been surprised at how loose some people are with it. Like, oh yeah, I'll get that done eventually. I'm like, oh my gosh, this costs, $3,000 a course. Like, how are you just blowing this off? But, we're all wired differently. So.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. Now you've had several courses, and what did you say you'll be taking in the fall?
In the fall, it's global sensitivities and ministries. I think more of the multicultural, multi-faith, and then the moral injury chaplaincy course.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And will that all be online also?
Yes, all online. For the chaplaincy course, there were 2 optional in-person experiences, but due to COVID, that's not happening. So all online.
Yeah. Right. And so now I forget how long you've been in seminary, but how long do you estimate it'll be before you graduate?
So I almost have 2 years completed.
Oh, good.
And so that leaves me with 4.
Yeah.
So progress, farther than I ever thought I really would get. So here I am.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you feel the support of the congregation behind you, Kristen, in this journey, because you're right. It takes a lot. In addition to all the other things you're doing, You got to make room to study and take these courses and everything. And then we ask you to do this and that, and plus you're raising a family. So we're very honored to have a seminary student in our midst.
That's very kind, David. I will say it's a privilege. When I got the position as director of congregational life, I knew that meant that I was going to seminary. So that it's part, my faith journey is all intertwined with Sylvania
Right.
UCC. So
maybe it's too premature to ask this, but this is my last question. Do you know where kind of you're headed? Are you planning on ordination? Do you want to be a minister in a local church, or is there some other setting you want to serve? Has any of that been made clear to you in this process?
Well, I wouldn't say I have a definite. I do want to be ordained. That is a goal. I don't know, as the church changes, especially quite rapidly during the pandemic, what the church will look like, in 4 years. I know the church will exist, just will it look like what it looks like now? So, I do feel a call to some chaplaincy work, some activism, maybe a nonprofit. So it could be a mix of all of that. I'm open. I'm trying to stay open anyway.
So you're still discerning.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Kristen, thank you very much. I've enjoyed this conversation, and I'm sure the people of our congregation have been pleased to hear a little bit more in depth about the journey you're on. And certainly know that our prayers and support are behind you in that journey. And to everyone out there, we appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you next week. Thank you. Bye.